Doing good. I'm married. I got a family. Thank you. Yeah, my wife Miranda and I, we got 2 kids, one of each, an older one and a younger one. Yeah, my oldest is 10, my youngest is 7. So if I seem a little tired or a little sluggish, it's because I've been up since 2013. Yeah, it is crazy. I knew I wanted to have a family. I always knew I wanted to have a family, but my wife was definitely ready before I was. Like, as soon as we got married, she's like, I want to have kids now. When do you want to have kids? And I was like, here's a puppy. Anybody try that? That'll buy you a little bit of time. You're like, nurture that. But she was like, I want to have kids now. When do you want to have kids? And this is a real conversation that I had with my wife. I was like, we could have kids now, or, and hear me out. I was like, what if we wait 5 years and adopt a 5-year-old? Checks out, right? I'm like, it'll be like we had a kid right now, but we will miss all of the hardest stuff. Right. She wasn't buying it. She's very DIY. Yeah, she wanted to make her own, which luckily I didn't have to ask for help at Home Depot. That would have been awkward. But yeah, we got the kids. When you have kids, I think you start thinking a lot about your childhood, how you were raised, how you were brought up, and how that's going to affect you as a parent. I was actually raised by a single mother and a single father, just one of each. They're still together. Yeah, 50 years. It's working out pretty great for them. I just say it like that. Most of my friends have like 2 different moms, 2 stepdads, I just have one of each, so that seems pretty unique. I kind of feel shortchanged, honestly. I was probably the only person in my group of friends growing up whose parents weren't divorced, and I thought it was because we were poor. I did. I was like, I don't think my folks have the money to split up. Because I was looking at all my buddies, I was like, I don't know how your folks are doing it financially. Like, they've all got their own homes individually. They're crushing it in real estate. I'm like, my parents are in the same room. They're sharing a bed. It's pretty dire. They were so confused. They're like, so they're roommates? I was like, I think they love each other. I don't know. It's weird. It's different. My parents have been married 50 years. They got a pretty amazing relationship. And I've never seen them like argue or fight my entire life, which is crazy. Sounds good on the outside. But what that means is they just don't talk about stuff. Yeah. Anyone else grow up in that house? Like, we're not talking about that. Yeah. I spoke to a counselor about this, and she said what your folks do is they minimize and they practice conflict avoidance. Yeah. I recently confronted my dad about this. I said, Dad, you know what you and Mom do is you avoid conflict and you minimize. And my dad said, well, first of all, that is not that big of a deal. And second, I don't want to talk about this right now. So that's where we're at with that. We're working on it. I love having my own family. I love having the kids. I work a lot of nights and weekends, obviously, but I'm home a lot during the day. I pack all the lunches for school. That's what I do. Parents, you can use this if you want to. This is what I do. Like Monday through Thursdays, I will cut all of the crusts off their sandwiches, but then on Fridays, bam, I'll hit them with all crusts. Yeah, what do you think, I was throwing that bread out? No, that's good bread. With inflation right now, trying to stretch that bread dollar a little bit. Yeah. I remember the first Friday I did that, my son came home. He's like, what is this? And I was like, oops, all crusts. Yeah, if Captain Crunch can do it, so can we. And I was like, now finish your apple skins. When the kids were really young, they didn't want to sleep, and I thought they weren't getting enough physical activity, like enough exercise. I thought, oh, they're just not tired. So I started doing this thing when they were younger. I'd take them to the park every day, and I'd just run them around in circles until they were exhausted. And then we would go home, and they would go to sleep. And that was working brilliantly for the first few weeks until I realized, no, I'm just building up their cardio. Yeah, that was a terrible strategy. All that did was increase their speed and stamina. I don't know what I was thinking. I should have been giving them cigarettes and Happy Meals. Yeah, that'll slow them down. We know that works. That's data-driven, right? A little heart disease, a little diabetes, that'll tucker them right out. Obviously, I'm joking. I love my kids. I would never give them McDonald's. Or cigarettes. They don't want cigarettes. Vapes. That's what the kids want these days. The vapes, I think. I don't know. I would never. Yeah. This is my favorite moment from the holidays. We had carolers come to our door, and my kids had never seen carolers before, right? So we get a knock at the door. We all come running over. We open the door, and there's a group of folks standing there, and they're like, "Hark the herald angels." And my son just stared at him for like 3 seconds, and he goes, "Alexa, skip." I was like, "Those are real people, kiddo." They didn't miss a beat. They were like, "Jingle bells, jingle bells." Well played. The kids love the Alexa thing, because what we do at our house, we celebrate our wins for the day, our little victories for the week. We have a lot of living room dance parties. That's what we do. And the kids love the Alexa because they can like yell anything at it, and Alexa will find a song about that, right? Alexa will find a song about donuts. It'll find a song about donuts, and then we boogie. Yeah. The other day, my little one, Clara, she goes, "Alexa, play a soccer song." And I don't know if you know this, but the U.S. women's soccer team has adopted Beyonce's Girls Run the World as like their pump-up song. So she asked for a soccer song. That's what comes on. You know the song's like, "Who runs the world? Girls! Who runs the world? Girls!" And it was a cool moment for me as a father, watching my little girl dance her heart out to this song. Very pro-women, very girl power song, you know what I mean? Because I want to raise a strong, independent young woman. I would like for her to be able to do whatever she wants to do, be whoever she wants to be. So they're dancing, and the song gets over, and the kids are still excited. They want to keep dancing, and my son's like, "Alexa, play the boy one." Yeah, I was like, "Oh, kiddo, you don't get a song." And it was a tough moment for me as a father, because I want to raise a strong, independent young man. And I feel like people don't seem too keen on that right now. But I'd like to try. I would like for him to be able to do whatever he wants to do, be whoever he wants to be. But I didn't have the heart to tell him, "Hey, you are the reason for the other song." Yeah, that is a lot of weight to put on his tiny, weak shoulders. He is a sweet little 10-year-old boy. Yeah, that's it. You feel how awkward that got right here? I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of situations as a parent. I think most parents are out there just trying to do the best they can, but sometimes you get in a situation where I don't know if there's a right answer. You know what I mean? On one hand, I feel like I couldn't support, if there was a boy version of that song, I couldn't have that playing in the house. If there was a song that was like, "Men, we're the best dudes, we're in charge," I'd be like, "Alexa!" Right, I got a 10-year-old with a 7-year-old little sister. I cannot have him walking around the house in Boston like, "Make me a sandwich. Cut those crusts off." So obviously I can't support that. But on the other hand, I can't tell him the real reason. I can't be like, "You don't get a song because right now men actually run the world." That's my point. There's a little tension right there. That's the point of the other song. Topple the patriarchy, get some equality. That's what I'm for. Feel how weird it got right now? Yeah, I'm in a room full of adults, and you can barely handle this. I'm trying to explain this to a 10-year-old. I was like, "Listen, kiddo, it is complicated. I will do my best to explain it while I finish folding your mom's laundry over here." Oh my goodness, she's gonna be home from work soon. I better get dinner going. And then I will tell you about how men run this world over here. That's how we do things at the Boeh household. I don't know, we're doing the best we can.